35.4 is going to be this. You know what? Screw it. We'll do the actual SoCal approach. Is 27.0 here. That's the real world frequency. Let's get the real world frequency. $20 27.0. This takes forever to scroll through these decimals. 27.0. There we go. Okay. No hangars, no terminal, no control tower. Yeah, it's really disappointing. And then it looks like this. You know, it looks like this in some places, and you're like, good God, why can't it just be like that all the time? SoCal approach, good evening, Aerobat 204 Lima Echo, climbing through 2,500 just south of Redlands with a VFR request.
204 Lima Echo, SoCal approach, walk 5433, share request.
5433, flight following to John Wayne, please. I love that when you like look up, you get that like adjustment time with your eyes. Oh, that looks insane right there. Yeah, then it looks like that. That's just the thing that is really frustrating, is it lulls you into, it's real. It looks like real freaking life, dude. And then you get to the airport.
Contact 19 miles northeast Paradise, maintain VFR, Ontario altimeter 2973.
2973, Aerobat 204, Lima Echo, maintain VFR.
November, Bakersfield departure,
awesome.
November 860 Romeo, at flight level 2000.
Yeah, and we've talked about it a fair bit, Ryan, that I'm pretty positive that they just, you know, if an airport is important enough, you'll get community support or payware support, but the technology that's driving this is really the key, and a lot of it is hands-off. This is all doing it by itself, machine learning, so it doesn't require any extra effort by hand, at least, to update things to make it correct. So let the technology do its thing. We'll put some generic airports in there. The community will help build up what is missing from the machine learning, you know, AI stuff, and it reduces the load on the developer team, which again makes it more so a paid beta. But if being able to fly over your own house and your high school and your college and your whatever gets more people into flight simulation than hyper-realistic airport taxiways and all that crap, it will benefit the hardcore of us, because there'll be a larger user base will help us bring more planes, more airports, more support. Hoping that's the case. I think there's probably a combination of a little bit of all of it, but yeah, GPB and Raven, do your best, gentlemen. That's him. Finally, maybe break down and try it for $1. See, dude, it's not that much of an investment, dude. Look at this. Like, be mad at it. You know what I mean? Be mad that Ontario looks like garbage. But are you kidding me with how this looks? I mean, it's kind of fun to, you know, to pick it apart a little bit and get frustrated at certain things. But when you, I'm not gonna look at that little scene. But when you have something that looks like this, it is just awesome. Yeah, I figured, Ryan. Yeah. And I think what frustrates a lot of the actual hardcore flight simmers and aviation-minded people is the fact that a lot of the details that it gets so wrong are very fundamental aviation things. Stuff that, you know, you should not get wrong in something that's called flight simulator. You know, at what point are you scenery simulator, screenshot simulator, flying over random town simulator? You know, it's like this looks just stunning. It's absolutely stunning, and it's a shame that it had to.
Tower, Bonanza 3735 Tango, hold short.
It had to have deficiencies in the way that it has as a flight simulator.
Clear for takeoff 350.
So, okay, we are. Well, here. I mean. So we're in the 152. This is the updated 152 community plugin. I'll have a link for that, whether it's in the Discord or in the YouTube description. It runs great so far. I haven't really tested it out too dramatically in terms of fuel flow and the electrics and all that stuff, but it has really turned into my favorite plane to fly in this simulator because it lands so well. I've also done some hand flying instrument stuff, which we're going to try to do here on our way back from the Inland Empire, checking out some airports, and we're going to head back to John Wayne kind of at dusk, a little bit in the evening. Favorite time of day in the real world, and for sure in the sim it looks breathtaking. That's March Air Force Base off our left wing there. And we're going to try to do a hand fly and ILS approach into John Wayne, which should be pretty fun. It's been pretty easy to hand fly this thing, but the lack of GPS has made this really one of my favorite planes so far in the simulator. Like Vatsim said, the poor avionics are really a bummer, but if you're slant uniform, who cares? Who cares? God, it looks so good. That looks so good. This is one of those moments where, like, you know, we just got done looking at some really, really weak airports, airport layouts, but, you know, at a few thousand feet, oh, God, that looks so good. It looks so good. But doing the ILS into John Wayne will be a lot of fun. The sun is blinding, which is another really great detail that I wish they would have spent as much time on taxiways and airport towers as they did on the lighting effects. But the lighting on this looks unbelievable. I mean, look at that. Have mercy. That's just amazing right there. Just like the reflections on everything.
20 left ILS.
I know wait for flight plan is when I ask you that. I'm really just asking you what your approach request is. So the appropriate response there would be request ILS 20 right. Turn right heading 340. Expect vectors ILS 20 right approach.
Just
Heading 340.
clouds and sun.
Approach for 20 left.
The reflections.
Negative, sir. There's no ILS approach for my 20 left. Expect vectors for the ILS for my 20 right approach.
Expect vectors for ILS 20 right approach. 35 Dano.
God, it looks awesome. That looks so great. And I'll keep saying it over and over again, as deficient as it can be with, you know, a lot of the details, the avionics, the airport details in particular, you know, it really, I have to say, makes up for in just the feel of an area. You know, even if it's someplace that you're very, very familiar with, I mean, it feels like it.
Southeast departure.
It's just awesome. Yeah, and I agree, Ryan, that it is the technology that's driving this is really the milestone, not the flight simulator application or aspect of it. And that is equally as cool. I'm fine with that, but yeah, it is its own unique thing. I mean, we're all aviation fans, so we want the aviation aspect of this to be treated with as much care as possible. But the reality is, I think we're looking at a tech demo, largely a tech demo, and we're going to have to rely on the community to make up the gaps that are left by the developer in pursuit of an unbelievable tech demo. You know, I can't wait for Battlefield 52 that has, you know, the entire Arabian Peninsula as a playable map. You know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's potentially possible with this technology. Right now, you know, you're trying to make realistic airports for thousands, tens of thousands of airports. You know, it just boggles my mind how difficult that must be. We're hypercritical. Certain simulators have done a better job at doing it from a default standpoint, but overall, to be able to look out the window at that,
Clear to Ramona after departure.
I don't know, man. It's so good.
Then has filed. Expect
it has so much potential, and I can't wait to see even half of that potential realized. It's going to be really great. That sun is in a just terrible position. How about that? Should we just be just afternoon? Let's just be afternoon. As much as I love that sun being down, and maybe we'll move it once we turn the corner.
Remember 86 Romeo, maintain appropriate veer for altitudes at your discretion.
Yeah. Platypus, right? I mean, it's like, just, they keep making a big deal about big maps, you know, in these games, Battlefield in particular, GTA. Could you imagine Grand Theft Auto where it's, you know, not just an approximation of an area, it's like, here is a fully realized city. Imagine paring this technology down to a city, a single full region, you know, where it's 60 miles from, you know, the desert to the coast, and it's real time space. You know, GTA 5, if you have, you know, the story and the, you know, everything built around a world that was this big, imagine the possibilities, the sandbox that could create if you're procedurally generating, you know, to a higher fidelity than this. I mean, it's just like the potential is huge, I think. Have a great night, Dave. Thank you again for the subscriptions, the gifted subs, the comments, and everything. I appreciate it, Dave. You are the man.
Any FAA chart, for example, the ground chart, where the frequencies are listed in the top left.
I'm older and I haven't played games in years, but this is so big and absorbing that I am willing to buy a really expensive PC to play this. Yeah, dude, it's very tempting. I mean, there's. Oh, God, that looks so
I see it now. I'm looking at the ground chart. It has the frequencies and it has an El Monte Tower listed in there. So I should say El Monte Tower. Thanks.
You'll find there's lots of cases where the air traffic control position name differs from the actual name of the airport.
Oh, that's so good.
Thanks for the information. Fort Victor Yankee.
God, it looks so.
Number 35 Tango, turn right heading 0.
It looks so good.
Right, 02035 Tango.
So good. 20 28.1.
I'm on the ground, this is Skyhawk 4 Victor Yankee. With all that discussion, I kind of got lost. So I'm taxiing via Alpha Bravo to runway 19, correct, 4 Victor Yankee?
28.
Report Victor Yankee from Prefect.
28.1. Come
Right,
on.
6 Echo Romeo, contact Joshua approach 124.
All right, so the ILS for John Wayne 20 right is 111.75. So there's that. The course is 197. So there's 20 and there's 197 right there. So that's good. And we're gonna have to probably go down to 3,000. We're at 4,500 right now. We have Information Zulu, which is PilotEdge code for custom weather. This is not real world weather at the moment. There's Lake Corona. Look at that. If you're familiar with Corona, that is not there. So we'll just ignore that for the moment. You know, Flying Mercury, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, there's still a ton of fun things that you can do right now and learn the UI, learn the sim in general, and then kind of build your knowledge with the sim as things get added on. If you're coming from like a super dialed in X-plane and you only fly IFR and you only fly airliner stuff, then yeah, it may not make sense to make the jump. But if you're coming in from nothing, there's tons of fun to be had with this as it is right now. It's like bush flying. Dude, it's so much fun. Just exploring. You could spend a year just hopping in a little Cub and flying across the world. I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable that you don't have to download ortho. You know, before you'd have to download this image to make it look like this in X-plane. And it would take, you know, it'd take an hour or two. I am not going to look at Lake Corona because that is not like that. Like X-plane kind of looks like this. You know, the ortho scenery kind of looks like that, but it takes forever to download, and it takes up hard drive space, and you know, it's a completely different method of adding scenery.
Los Angeles, clearance 789 Air Romeo November, radio check.
For 789 Romeo November, Los Angeles, clearance officer.
SoCal approach, Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. We have information Zulu at John Wayne. We'd like to request that practice ILS runway 20 right, please.
Flying. So we'll call that.
Yeah, right. A couple people stepping on each other, so I have no idea what you guys just said. Stand by. Report Victor Yankee, contact departure.
Over to departure, 4 Victor Yankee.
204 Lima Echo, contact SoCal approach on 128.1 request.
All right, 28-1, Aerobat 204 Lima Echo will do. SoCal approach, good evening, Aerobat 204 Lima Echo 4500. Information Zulu at John Wayne. Like to request the practice approach ILS 20 right.
40, correction 204 Lima Echo, SoCal approach, roger, turn right heading 280, vectors practice approach.
Right, 280 vectors. Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. Sergeant Gumbles, I use the Thrustmaster HOTUS X and the Cytec rotor pedals. It's a very, very simple setup, but it gets the job done.
6,000, 4 Victor Yankee.
Great, 6 Echo Romeo, advising him on the airport side, 12 o'clock,
8 6 Echo Romeo, I've got the airport.
Yeah, so I had zoom level 18, I think, on X-plane in this region. So like that would look better in X-plane, arguably. I mean, the lighting is still better here, but those hills would look better.
Los Angeles, Sirius,
So this is an approach that I've done in the real world a number of times.
Stand by. I'll call you back.
IMC
35 Tango.
VMC coupled hand flying, and the hand flying in this 152 has actually been pretty good.
That's real. Can you repeat that heading, please?
35 Tango, start your right turn now, 170 doing the localizer. maintain 3000 still established. Clear to ILS, runway 20 right approach.
That's right, a localizer, clear for the approach, 35 Tango.
Echo, turn left heading, correction 230, intercept runway 20 right approach.
Left 230, Aerobat 204, Lima Echo.
Orbit 3, clear direct Paradise.
Over clear.
This is the 91 freeway. That is a nightmare.
789 Romeo November, Los Angeles clearance. You want your IFR clearance?
Affirmative, 789 Romeo November.
So we would have had a altitude that we would have been assigned. Controller's a little bit busy right now. Toga what is happening happy Tuesday? Yeah, it's the worst freeway ever.
4365.
Let's get tower ready in here. It's 26.8.
789 Romeo November.
26.
Only Echo, 3 miles from Snake, maintain 3, correction 4000 established localizer, clear to ILS, runway 20 right practice approach.
Maintain 4000 until established. Cleared ILS 20 right practice approach. Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. Alright, so there we go. We got our altitude.
Tower 126.8.
There is Lake Irvine. That's a nice little reservoir right there. One of my favorite driving roads locally goes right by that.
Echo Romeo.
That is a VFR entry into John Wayne. So if you're coming here when it's busy pre-vid, you can fly or be directed towards Lake Irvine and then signal peak from there. Maintain 4000.
Downwind for 30, report midfield, November 86 Echo Romeo. John Wayne Tower, Brandon 3735 Tango with you, ILS 20 right, approach 35 Tango.
John Wayne Tower, 20 right, 706.
We got two people in there.
Clear to land 20 right.
Yeah, I love John Wayne. I've been so lucky to be able to be based out of John Wayne Airport, and God, it's the best. Even flying out of it commercially is great, but definitely as a GA pilot, flying out of John Wayne is pretty spectacular. Localizers coming in. Yeah, but we're in Aerobat, man. We can dump her in. We're in this slow little dude. Community add-on for the 152 Aerobat only. That is actually a great question. Cleanster, I don't know. It may actually be for the regular one. I mean, they should be the same. That's a good question. I need to look into that actually. I used to work at the Cummins branch by there, so most of my work trips were out of John Wayne. That's cool. Yeah, I knew you meant that. 26.8 Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. See ya. Nope. Okay. See you, Brandon. Yeah, this is my neck of the woods right here. This is my hometown. I'll wave to myself. John Wayne Tower, good evening. Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. Information Zulu. ILS 20 right practice approach.
204 Lima Echo. John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right.
Clear to land 20 right. Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. So there's a little bit of a low res tile we have there.
Grade 6 Echo Romeo, runway 30, clear to land 0207.
86 Echo Romeo, clear to land.
So yeah, looks like we got somebody on final ahead of us.
Midfield.
Negative
Santa Maria Tower, Skyhawk 420 Yankee Zulu, about 7 miles northeast, requesting full stop length landing with Yankee.
420 Yankee, this is Santa Maria Tower, right now, 30, circle left.
30 clear, right
Looking
downwind,
good,
420
looking
Yankee
good.
Zulu.
God, this thing is so slow. Sergeant Gumbel's my pleasure anytime. Thank you for following.
Tower 79, Romeo November, holding short 25 right. For,
Yeah, it's so crazy that the number of times I've been on that taxiway.
25 right, 79
It's
Romeo
crazy.
November.
There's Orange Hill. That's a great restaurant with an awesome view of Final Approach, as you can see. It's really cool. That's the kind of stuff that's awesome that X-Plane does not do, is like, oh, hey, there's a restaurant I'm familiar with, and it's the actual building. You know, it's not, hey, there's a barn where that restaurant I used to go to should be. SimEdge, happy trash day. Our yard waste guy took his time.
Number 35 Tango, taxi via Delta and Alpha, ramp up a bit, drop ready.
So this thing does a pretty good job of
Taxi the Delta
hand
and Alpha
flying.
to the
I
ramp.
should actually probably use the attitude indicator there. And I don't know if it's a combination of the instruments being not very precise and the plane not really feeling that realistic, so it just kind of doesn't move around so much. But I feel like I've been a lot more successful at hand flying an approach in this than I ever was in X-Plane. X-Plane was just forget about it. Hand flying an approach. But this is pretty good. And again, it could partially be because the instruments just aren't that sensitive.
I figured you're departing via bar.
Roger, I'll refile.
Just little tiny corrections. I know this is exactly what you want to see for a Flight Sim 2020 stream, is just all
Report Victor Yankee, stay altitude.
just the panel. All right, we're getting a little bit out of shape on the right there.
Oh, sorry, it looks like I went above it. Sorry. I'll get back into 6,000. Corvic Yankee.
Roger. Number 79 Romeo November, contact working.
Contact departure, 79 Romeo November.
Coming back. There we go. Just gonna hold that there. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Corrected the wrong direction. Oh, come on back. Come on back, localizer. I spoke too soon. We're headed towards Irvine now. Come on. Glide slope is at least
Departure, 79 Romeo
staying
November
put
with
a
you
little
at
bit.
2,100.
So we're 1,000 feet. I'll look up
79
here.
Romeo November, SoCal departure, contact.
Right over Micro Center.
Climb maintain 4,000.
The closer you
79
get,
Romeo
the
November.
more sensitive it is, and that is something that the real plane obviously does a much better job at replicating than this.
35 Tango, not necessary to do that.
That's a great shot right there. So it's hand flying wise, I feel like it's a little bit better than X-Plane. And I mean, I have literally the cheapest HOTUS and pedal setup that you could possibly have. It's like $40 for everything. But the
79 Romeo November.
the sensitivity seems like it's a little bit down in terms of correcting, which is nice, versus X-Plane. So overall, it feels like it's a better for hand flying, which in the sim in general doesn't really matter too much because it's just never going to replicate the real world feel of the plane. Yeah, that's the 55 right there, and we're coming up to the 405 right now. Yeah. Yeah, the crosshair is
Carlos Airport.
is the ILS. So that's the showing you the localizer and the glide slope. Localizer is the vertical line. The glide slope is the horizontal line. So you just want to keep those ideally centered all the way down, and that'll take you right to the 1,000 footers.
11,500 after departure. 135.4 and squawk 5675, 066 November Foxtrot.
06 November Foxtrot, that's correct.
The ground, November 8th. 86 Echo Romeo. Clear
Yeah,
runway
the runway
30,
slope looks so
taxi,
good.
G.Skill.
86 Echo Romeo after taxi via Charlie.
Charlie ramp 86 Echo Romeo.
Whoa. Awesome.
Bakersfield ground.
Right
Airline 408,
where we
Eagle
wanted to pull
Foxtrot
off.
Information uniform. Taxi for departure, VFR flight following Mojave for the Cat 6.
408 Foxtrot, Bakersfield ground, departure frequency 118.8, squawk 7162, 30 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo.
Turn the strobes
118.8,
off.
7162, taxi 30 right via Alpha Bravo 408 Tango Foxtrot.
09 Romeo November.
I like it, Zerg, yeah. It's really nice.
128.1, 789 Romeo November.
Record Echo, St. Vincent.
We're taxiing straight into ACI West, Aerobat 204 Lima Echo.
It'll be Bravo, it's frequency United.
Bravo, staying with you, Aerobat 204 Lima Echo. Have a good one. See ya!
Santa Maria Tower, 420 Yankee Zulu, runway 30 clear.
I think he's having
Yankee to the taxi via Alpha.
he's having a rough night. We'll
Taxiing via Alpha.
we'll
420
poke
Yankee
him. All right, here is the horrifically underwhelming
November with you at
John Wayne scenery.
29 Romeo November, SoCal approach router information.
But that is a very rough
You've got
ILS approach into John Wayne from the Inland Empire. Great approach,
789 Romeo
super
November with
reliable.
the ILS,
Minimums are pretty
full
low,
ILS
so it's kind of fun to get
runway
down
20 right.
that low.
Roger, cross Seal Beach at 4,000.
Is this gonna turn?
Cross Seal Beach 4000, cleared
No.
ILS 20 right approach.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great, reliable approach. Minimums go down pretty far, which is kind of cool.
86 Echo Romeo, yeah, I haven't entered yet. Stand by, it's going to be fast.
Roger that, 86 Echo Romeo. Thank you very much.
86 Echo Romeo, you good to have a good night.
PilotEdge.
See you. Have a good night.
Avionics coming off. It's the Thrustmaster HOTUS X. It's as cheap as you can be. That helped me solo in less than 7 hours and do my long cross country, or my cross country solo in less than 12 hours. It's freaking all you need. I would love to actually feel like good controls are like, but it just goes to show that you don't really need to spend that much money in order to get the benefit out of it. I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars on flight sim hardware, but it really doesn't, you don't need it. Does it help? Yeah, sure. Does it make it more enjoyable? Probably. Is it needed? No. I've made do with this for a very long time, and it's all that you need. So, all right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out tonight. This was a lot of fun checking out these airports. Hopefully, you guys that are kind of on the fence will take the plunge and try it out, at least, on Game Pass, if that is the way to go. But yeah, it's a lot of fun just flying around and exploring. It's awesome.